Okay, so in part 3 here, this is where we ended off last time. The only difference that I did here on group 1, copy 2, is I double-clicked the effects, and I changed it from what was before, I think a green, down to a red, and I changed it to multiply. Everything else is the same. All the layers are there. You can see when you stack them up. We had the color version, which we did a color overlay to of a little bit of green. Then we had this black and white version that has the red overlay. Then I did the texture on top with a hard light and 30% opacity. And then we added this blob and the other blob and this splatter and that splatter, and I colored them a little bit. Okay, that's where we ended off. Now, for part 3, if you go into your folder, which would be an example would look like this. Okay, so in part 3, photos and logos, here's what I grabbed. I included important parts, in this case, of a movie, but you would include important parts of whatever your theme is. So I grabbed this bicycle, I grabbed Captain Crunch and the logo, something iconic like that, an old thing that's existed for a long time, that's well known, that is used in the movie. Also, just a couple other pieces I wasn't sure if I was going to use. Him kind of holding onto the bike and screaming. Another picture, really high-res, good quality photo right there. And then the logo, which I don't think I'm actually going to use, but we'll see. So first steps are this. We're going to grab this one, and like we said before, you can just drag it directly in if you'd like. And then once it comes up in here, you can hit the checkbox up top. I would go to the layer itself, right-click, and rasterize. And then once you've rasterized, I'm going to bring it to the top so you can see it a little bit better. And then you're going to do a cutout. Use whatever tool you think. Maybe quick select, possibly. Do a selection around the edges like that. Hit delete. Try the other side. Looks pretty good. Okay. I could also fix little parts of this, right? For example, here, I could go to a different tool, maybe the lasso tool, and do a little subtraction. Maybe I subtract out, this little piece, and I'll do the same thing here, kind of on the eyelashes. Okay, looks pretty good. I'm going to hit delete. I get rid of that chunk. There is also a little chunk right here I'm going to try to get rid of. Okay, good. Now, as you bring in these images, after you cut them out, here's the step that I think works great for this project. And that is, you take the layer, so that's Pee-wee on that top layer there. We're going to take him, we're going to copy it 3 times. So click, drag, and drop to the new layer button, or you can hit Command-J on your keyboard. And now I have 3 copies of the same exact thing. So what do? I'm going to hide the first 2. Go to the bottom one here, the one that's underneath all the others. First thing for that bottom one is we're going to go to Filter, Pixelate, Color Halftone. Now, when this box pops up, you're going to have to experiment with it a little bit for yours. I'm going to put the max radius at about a 15. And I'm going to leave these the same, but again, you can play with them because you're going to get different results. Everybody's is going to be different. Hit OK, and look what it does. It does this half-tone dot pattern, a very pop-looking filter to the entire thing. And from far away, it still looks like him. Obviously, when you're close up, it won't look like him quite so much. Okay, so that's the bottom layer. Let's go to the next layer. Turn it on. This time, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. We're going to put it at a 5, and we're going to hit OK. Then we're going to go to Image, Adjustments, and Threshold to make it black and white. Now from here you can decide how much or how little black you're going to want in there. I'm going to go about there. Everyone's is different again. You have to make the choice yourself. Hit OK. Now what I want to do is I want to eliminate the white from here. So I'm going to use the Magic Wand tool, click on the white, right-click, Similar, and hit Delete. Now I'm going to do Command-D. Alright, so far I have this black one right here that's on this layer, and it's on top of the half-tone pattern one. Got it? Okay, next step. I go to the top one. I turn that on. And then I start to play with those blending modes. So again, to filter through the blending modes, use your Move tool, hold Shift, and click the plus symbol. And you start to see all of these options. And again, there are lots of them, so go through them, double check, see which ones you like the best. I kind of like that one, but really it's up to you. So what happens is these 3, 1, 2, and 3, I want them to kind of stay together, but I'm not necessarily going to flatten them just yet. So I'm going to hold Command on my keyboard
and click the other two so all three are selected. Then at the bottom of your layers panel, you'll see something that looks like a little link, a chain link. I'm going to click on it. So now you see they all have a chain link, which means if I take the move tool and move them, they move together at the same time. Even if I click away and I click on just one of them, they're always linked right now. And so now you have a choice. Again, just like all your other pieces, you bring it in, you decide where it's going to go, how big it's going to be, where are you going to place it. So I'm going to put mine maybe right about there or so. All right, so the main character has been put in using those 3 layers. Then we're going to go back into the folder and grab something else. So this time I'm going to grab the Captain Crunch with the logo, right? I'm going to click and drag that in. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to right click on it and rasterize. And now what I want to try to do is get rid of some of the red maybe that's here. So first I'm going to take the magic wand tool, get rid of the white bars that are on the sides. Then I'm going to do Command T. I'm going to hold Shift and increase the size of this. Now again, the size of it is completely up to you. How big do you want it to be? Where do you want it to go? All that kind of stuff is up to you. I'm going to make mine about that large, I guess. Maybe, maybe a little smaller. All right, that looks pretty good. Now I want to get rid of the red that's here. So how do I do that? Well, I'll take the quick select, maybe the magic wand tool, click on the red, maybe hit delete. Right now you could go in here with a really good kind of cutout, maybe lasso, polygonal lasso. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to use this to kind of get rid of some stuff. And these, I don't need them. I'm going to use this lasso tool and just make a selection around this piece and hit delete. I'm going to do the same thing here. We actually, yeah, you know what? I'm going to leave the sweetened corn and oat cereal one. And down here, you can see where it says it has like another little piece of a logo, I guess, to it. I'll take the move tool, maybe move this down so that disappears a little bit. And that could be interesting like that, maybe. Everybody's going to be a little different, and there's no right or wrong here exactly. So just kind of play around with it until you get a look that you like. All right, and now, at this point, we'll do the same exact thing we did to the picture of him in the beginning. So go to the layer, and I'm going to bring this layer to the top for a moment. All right, so we copy it 3 times, right? All right, then you hide the first 2, start with the bottom one. We went to Filter, Pixelate, Color Halftone. Remember last time I did it at 15, maybe this one I'll do at 20, maximum radius, and I do that, I hit OK, and you see what it does to it. And then I go to the next one, turn that one on. This one we're going to do the blur, Gaussian blur at a 5, hit OK. Then we're going to go to image, adjustments, right, and threshold to make it black and white. Now once we've done the black and white filter to it, maybe you pop that up a little bit just like that, looks good. All right, we're going to go into it with the magic wand tool again, click on the white, right click, similar, and hit delete. Looking pretty good. Now, you might want to leave it like that or add that last top layer, turn it on, and then mess with those blending modes again, right? Remember, you hold the move tool, click on the move tool, hold shift, and hit the plus symbol. And just kind of click through until you find one that you like. Maybe that one kind of works a little bit. It's really up to you. However you'd like to see it, the way you think that it works best is totally fine. In addition, is there anything else that's in here that you think I could use? The bicycle. I would probably do the same thing maybe somewhere with the bikes. It's such an important part of the movie. Okay it right. Take the magic wand tool. Click on the blue. Maybe I'll right click and do similar. Hit delete. Oops, I have to rasterize it first, sorry. All right, it's not perfect, but it's almost done. You can do the same thing to it. Just take the pieces, move them around, do that same step over again with the halftone pattern and the 3 copies. An example of a finished piece would look something like this. All right, not completely finished, but sort of on its way there.